Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got another exciting article here on some news that is quite interesting for a lot of us. So let's jump to the article, let's read it, and then we will offer a few comments afterwards. So as you can see here, the European Central Bank taps 36 payment providers for year-long digital euro pilot. So the quick take here says that the European Central Bank selected 36 payment service providers for a 12-month digital euro pilot to begin in the second half of 2027. The pilot will use beta version of the digital euro to test payment functions, operational processes, and user experience at the ECB and 19 euro area national central banks. So the article begins here. The European Central Bank has selected 36 payment service providers from across the euro area for a 12-month digital euro pilot scheduled to begin in the second half of 2027 as the central bank moves ahead with technical preparations for a potential retail central bank digital currency. According to the ECB's website, the 36 selected participants were drawn from a pool of more than 50 applicants consisting of banks and non-bank payment service providers. The final list includes major Eurozone financial institutions such as Germany's Deutsche Bank, Italy's Unicredit, and France's BPCE, alongside digital native platforms like Lithuania-registered Revolut Bank UAB, Ireland's Stripe Technology, and the Netherlands-based ADN NV. The strong market interest in the pilot shows the private sector's readiness to engage actively and quickly advance with the digital euro project to strengthen the European payments landscape, ECB Executive Board member Piero Cipollone said in a statement on Tuesday. Per the statement, participating payment service providers will act as distributing PSPs, acquiring PSPs, or both. Distributing providers will give Eurosystem staff access to beta digital euro accounts and payment services, while acquiring providers will enable selected merchants to accept beta digital euro payments. The ECB said the pilot will use beta version of the digital euro to test payment functions, operational processes, and user experience at the ECB and 19 euro area national central banks. Eurosystem staff, e-commerce merchants, and businesses such as cafeterias and restaurants will participate, testing person-to-person and person-to-business payments online and offline, including at physical points of sale, the bank said. ECB's digital euro roadmap. ECB stated that the pilot is intended to support its ongoing preparatory work for a potential digital euro issuance and refine the currency's technical design before any launch. According to the Digital Euro Roadmap Tracker, the central bank aims to be ready for a potential first issuance in 2029, assuming the digital euro regulation is adopted in 2026. The ECB said in a final decision on whether to issue the digital euro will only be taken after the legislation is approved. The latest pilot milestone follows remarks by ECB Executive Board member Isabel Schnabel last month that the digital euro is essential to preserve the role of central bank money as stablecoin adoption grows. Schnabel said the central bank digital currencies, alongside robust regulation, are needed to address financial stability risk and reduce Europe's dependence on non-European payment providers, while noting that dollar-denominated stablecoins could reinforce U.S. dollar dominance. Schnabel's comments contrast with the current U.S. administration's positions on central bank digital currencies. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been quoted saying the administration would not permit a U.S. CBDC while urging Congress to advance the Clarity Act. Okay, so that is the article as we've covered on this channel a few times before. If we quickly zoom in here, if y'all can see this. This is the total stablecoin supply chart. So you can see back around July of 2025 last year, it was around 244 billion. And then over here, it's dropped a little bit, but it was just over 300 billion, and now it's just a little bit lower than 300 billion total stablecoin supply. So it's still grown by roughly 20-30% in the last 12 months. Okay, so the other few bits of information we can summarize from this article is that it seems that 2029 is the target. The target is 2029 for the first issuance. But they've also assuming that this year in 2026 that the regulation is going to be the digital euro regulation is going to be adopted, which means that it must basically be confirmed as policy and law, perhaps. Now, right. So the ECB said the final decision on whether to issue the digital euro will only be taken after the legislation is approved. So it seems that will be done with the European Parliament, European Commission. Okay, now the other interesting piece of information that we can see here is that they noted that there was a dependency on U.S. or at least as it says right here, robust regulation and needed to address financial stability risk, okay, and reduce Europe's dependence on non-European payment providers, while noting that dollar-denominated stablecoins could reinforce U.S. dollar dominance. So it simply means that the euro is attempting to get a larger percent of the stablecoin market. That would be part of their strategy. And again, financial stability risks. So the European Central Bank is trying to make sure that they are offering a truly stable euro. Okay, that the euro is not subject to unnecessary risks as they expand these efforts to build a European digital euro pilot project. Okay, so if everything goes well, that means that second half of 2027 next year. So it's still quite far off, at least roughly a year away. If it starts the second half of 2027, right around a year away, perhaps, to begin. And again, the target would be 2029 for this all to really be fully issued and adopted and then implemented. So we all understand that things move a little bit slower in Europe. They are very adamant about regulation and legislation, however the process may be. So this seems to be no different, but it's very clear from their what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to avoid, fighting their dependence or Europe's overall dependence on non-European payment providers. Okay, so that's why you can see up here some of the biggest European superstars, including, of course, you've got the Deutsche Bank, UniCredit, which are both very big, BPCE in France, and then more recent neobanks such as Revolut, which we have a video on Revolut, Ireland Stripe, of course, Ireland for tax purposes, and then Netherlands-based Adyen NV, and that might also be a good jurisdiction to open up a company for tax optimization. All right, at least within the European Union. So it looks like this is going to be slowly rolled out. So you got peer-to-peer, peer-to-business, B2B, C2C, or C2C or peer-to-peer. So we will be monitoring this. Of course, this will be a rather slow process to see what's happening over there in Europe. But please be certain that it's eventually going to come. So there's a lot of other sort of privacy and KYC AML type of considerations that are being thought through right now and in the near future, because there's a lot of regulation in Europe, so this certainly is going to be a really important project for the European Central Bank to get right. So that's maybe why they have such a long timeline compared to some other countries which are being a bit more proactive and first mover advantage. So that pretty much is our summary of this very interesting article. It's good to cover what's going on in Europe because there really is kind of a centralized operations out of Brussels, where it seems that most of the European Union is located, at least for policy decisions or banks or similar. Now, info@cryptodeposit.org. You can email us at info@cryptodeposit.org. We can get you started for anything that you wanted to know about the firm. If you wanted to be onboarded, all we can offer, we have a lot of videos and tutorials, but once again, you can simply connect your wallet. You can use your MetaMask. You can use many types of wallets, as you can see here. So many different types of wallets. All you got to do for your self-custody is simply scan yourself in, connect your wallet, and then once you're connected, of course, you have the option through our tools to use a card. You can do bank wires if you so wish, and then again, as of right now, as we continue to expand our offerings, you are welcome to get USDC. You are welcome to get USDT. Once you've got your wallet connected, then similarly, with your USDC and with your USDT, you can go ahead and get as little as 7 days up to 5 years. Get a differing, it'll change the yields depending on how long you've decided to engage with these yields. And these are all transferable, so you could transfer at the end of these durations to a different wallet, depending on who you want to send to, or you keep it for yourself. And then once again, everything is on-chain, fully viewable. Everything is registered as an NFT. If you have a transaction, a simple NFT as if it were a receipt. So you would view that here. You would see your bills here after your wallet's connected. And then again, you can use your tokens as collateral to borrow stablecoins. So we've got borrowing and lending. Really exciting stuff. If you wanted to learn more, you could also email us and we can walk you through that process. And then OTC, this is for the people that want to do larger deals for us. So it's either 50,000 or more. Again, if you wanted to get stable coins, if you wanted to work with fiat, and then statements. Again, statements is all of your history, all of the things sort of pending or in process. Messages, XMTP, high secure messaging from wallet to wallet. So everything is via wallet, which is really the highest security. And then, of course, activity history and exchange and swap. So exchange and swap, of course, you can figure out many different sort of variations, many different types of several configurations if you wanted to use different chains, different types of USDC, USDT, KUSD, so many things to choose. White paper at the bottom of the page, and we have a white paper video if you wanted to listen along as opposed to read it yourself on the YouTube channel, and of course onboarding tutorials on the YouTube channel as well. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Wishing everybody a great day, wishing everybody a great afternoon or a great evening, wherever you all may be. Thanks for joining us, and we will continue to be monitoring all of this exciting news in the world of stablecoins, which is our key focus at this point in time for cryptodeposit.org. Perhaps your and everybody's future one-stop shop solution for your yield and digital asset pursuits. Okay, with that being said, signing off for today, and see you hopefully again with another batch of good articles to cover and more information to share with you all. Take care, everybody.